for tomorrow. But let's talk about whether Malawi, you believe, is ready for tomorrow's elections.
Yes, as opposition, the Blue Alliance, you know that we are in an alliance with the Democratic Progressive Party and AFORD. We are very ready. We have done a very good campaign. Now we are waiting for the D-Day tomorrow.
As one of the biggest opposition parties, as AFORD, and also having entered into some coalitions, what forms part of your roadmap?
Mainly, we are looking at a very free and fair elections. And after that, the job of running a government, you know that the economy is almost in tatters. This is one of the biggest challenge we have.
7.2 million people registered to vote out of a possible 10.9 million eligible voters. Are you happy with this amount of registered voters?
I'm not happy. And also, what matters tomorrow, apart from that, is the turnout out of the 7.2 million. It's very, very important. So that's the job we are doing today to make sure that everyone should turn up and vote and bring change.
Human Rights Watch has raised an alarm in terms of the Malawi elections. They worried about the fairness of the Malawi Electoral Commission's MEC as well as its leadership. As much as the announcements have been made yesterday to allay those fears, we were in conversation with Human Rights Watch last week. Is the MEC impartial, and do you believe these elections will be free and fair?
No, even the opposition, we have no confidence in them, but we are watching them. I hope they are going to be fair to everyone, because Malawians want change. They are tired of this government. They want this government to go.
And why do you believe that they won't be free and fair?
That's why we're saying we're watching them. And the good thing that the voting and the counting will be manual. That will help us. So what we have to do is to make sure we increase our monitoring capacity. That's what we are doing today.
A lot of manifestos for political parties in Malawi have touched on issues around agriculture, that being at the core of Malawi's economy. Education has been another top one that has come up in our conversations here on Channel Africa, as well as infrastructure and development. What is your take on these being the top three? It emerges from a lot of political parties in the country.
In fact, we have a serious food deficit. And the first priority indeed is to make sure that next year we should increase food production. And very soon we need to start distribution of food because we have a lot of people who are suffering, especially in the rural areas. So what we are going to do as a country is to make sure we focus on food production, to make sure that every household is food secure.
According to the MEC, over 7 million, as we said, 7.2 million Malawians have registered to vote, with women making up 57.1% of the electorate. How do you think this will bode for women representation in the National Assembly, possibly, and the cabinet?
It's the priority of the Blue Alliance to make sure we're represented in all structures of government. This time, I think there's an increase in women who are parliamentary, which is a very good improvement, and also it's indeed encouraging.
In your view, are opposition groups in the country going into this election with a similar voice? Is there unification? And can we expect a multi-party government? And how would that shape Malawi's political landscape if it were to be?
Yeah, in fact, the way things are, a coalition government is inevitable. You're looking at we have fuel shortage at the moment. We have food shortage, as I said earlier on. We have a problem with forex. So many problems in every sector, health sector, education sector. Everything is in tatters. Indeed, the Chakwera administration has failed miserably. So we need a coalition government.
Talking of issues on health, the government of Malawi has the essential health package in place. It's launched this in the early 2000s, and this puts a lot of emphasis on immunization and vaccination efforts. How effective has this been in ensuring the load on the country's overburdened healthcare system is reduced? And in what ways would you assist in changing it or coming up with your own vision for health on this particular development?
In fact, the plan we have is to make sure that we build a lot of clinics so that people should not travel a long distance going to the hospitals. That's one of the things we're trying to do. Secondly, is to make sure that we have enough medicine, adequate medicine in all hospitals. The third thing is we have to train a lot of doctors, nurses, and medical personnel.
Your thoughts on a good strategy in dealing with a
Help.
shortage? Hello, Enoch? Enoch, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Great. Enoch Chihana is president of the Alliance for Democracy Party, or the AFORD Party. Please continue on your previous point. I think you got cut off there telephonically.
Yes, what I'm saying that on health sector, we'll make sure that almost in every constituency we should have 2 or 3 clinics. And also, secondly, we have to make sure that we train a lot of personnel, doctors, nurses, and other medical personnel. The third thing is to make sure that we have got adequate medicine in all hospitals. This, I think, is going to help to improve health sector in Malawi.
Let's talk housing in urban areas. One of the challenges the country is facing is a shortage of housing in urban areas. What strategies do you propose to deal with this issue, and where do you think the Malawi Housing Corporation has failed?
The Malawi Housing Corporation has failed because of lacking of funding, but also innovation. In our manifesto, we are going to make sure that we build a lot of houses, and also we have to make sure that we have got a housing scheme for civil servants and also for people in the private sector, those who are living in private sector. This is very important. We used to have that program long time ago, which was stopped. It's very, very important.
What hasn't been touched on so far, or not in detail, as a build up to Malawi's elections, is assistance for the elderly and disabled citizens in the country. What is your plan in terms of providing assistance to these groups of people? Do you have a social protection plan?
In fact, what we're going to do, yes, we have a social protection plan, but also, secondly, what we're going to do is we're going to increase funding in the Ministry of Social Welfare, where these people have to go there to get whatever they need. It's where we have a problem. And I know that our president is going to focus on that. It's very, very important.
Mm. Your message then for international observers whose eyes will be on Malawi tomorrow as well as days after over these elections, what would you say?
It seems there's a lot of interference. The government, I should say the MCP, is trying to use government agencies, the National Intelligence Service, the army, the police, to make sure that they intimidate voters. But the message to the people, the message to the international community is let us be on the watch out. And also, they should help us to observe this election to make sure that it's free and fair.
Thank you so much for your time, Enoch. We're going to leave it there. That's what all the time we have for, and obviously all the best tomorrow. We are going to be catching in and getting more updates in terms of what's happening in your country there of Malawi.
Thank you so much. Good morning.
Thank you. President of the Alliance for Democracy Party, or AFORD, is Enoch Chihana, talking to us as we're looking forward to what will be transpiring tomorrow, those September 16 elections. Malawi is a multi-party republic. This after the country's 1966 constitution was amended in 1993 to allow for this political system. Lots of opposing figures in terms of politically that have emerged since then in the country, and we'll continue then with our coverage of conversations to the build-up to tomorrow as we get to know the political parties that that are forming part of that landscape, as well as who's prominent and coming up tops, as well as the citizens, of course. We need to hear their voices in terms of how they feel about these elections. We know a few other party leaders are emerging as having come back to contest these elections, wanting to be still a part of the political landscape of Malawi. 29 minutes past